Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So today what we're going to talk about is, should you sell your house before it's too late? A lot of people are asking that question because some of them have 3% rates and they're like, well, I want to sell, but should I wait or should I sell? And there's other reasons people might have to sell. And we'll talk about those too. But in the meantime, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and give it a thumbs up if you like what we talk about. So here we go. So Bill, what do you think of people are on the fence? They might not be able to afford the house, expenses are going up, and they're like, should I sell or should I wait? What's your opinion?
Well, if you feel that you need to sell because in your example the expenses have gone up to the point where things are out of control, let's look at where you're going to go. If you're going to sell, are you going to downsize perhaps? It's going to save you some money. We need to take into consideration the interest rate that you are currently locked in at versus an interest rate that maybe you're going to go into, and see the differences so we can actually make an informed decision. So if you're downsizing, then yes. If you can't make your payments, yes.
Well, the whole thing is what's been going on lately is, let's be realistic, and not sugarcoat anything. Everything's gone up. Insurance, electric, water, freaking you name it, it's increased. Nothing's gotten cheaper from last year.
Right.
So, even though people were able to afford a house, a year ago, because their job was secure, everything was secure, a lot of things changed in the last 12 months.
Right.
So here's the deal, in my opinion. It's not like people are going to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to wait 3, 6 months or 12 months and they're going to have more equity. I don't think people are going to get any more equity in their houses in the following year. What do you think?
We've seen things stabilize out. Now we're not going to see the growth. We had rapid growth over the last few years. Over those pandemic years, we saw massive growth. But we don't want that. We really want things to level out a little bit, because this is what's causing some of our affordability imbalance that we have currently. So we've leveled out here in our local area, the Tampa Bay area of Florida specifically. We've started to level out in most of our smaller markets, but we're either going to be maybe just a little low. We're going to lose a little tiny equity maybe, or we'll stay flatlined or maybe come up just a little bit. Currently we've just creeped up over the neutral just a little bit, but that fluctuates.
But that's the whole thing too, is so waiting to sell it is not going to do anything. So because my point is, like some people, like their roofs are old, so now the insurance companies are cracking down and they have mortgages, so they're like,
they have to get it.
But if they don't have the money, and say they have insurance this year, but next year they might not have insurance because all the insurance companies like to see a roof less than 10 years old. Now Citizens changed it from 3 years life expectancy left to 5 years. So you got to look at those things. And if your job is not as stable now, isn't it better to sell the house and then downgrade to something that is more feasible, more affordable? Or you think, I shouldn't even be saying this stuff, and then just stay in your house and hope for the best?
Well, it just depends. You've really got to sit down and look at your situation specifically, because I can't give a blanket statement that you need to do this and you need to do that.
I agree with you.
That's borderline malpractice. But like, if you can't afford your house, maybe it's time to downgrade. Or you're living in a certain area that just generally costs more money. Maybe sell your house and move somewhere else.
I'm not saying this is going to be another 2006, 2007, 2008. I'm not saying that at all. But the way I'm looking at it is, if you feel that you're going to be in trouble in 3 to 6 months from now, wouldn't it be better so you don't have to short sale the house or, God forbid, go into foreclosure or something? Don't you think it's better to be like, all right, I'm going to be proactive and I'm going to see what I can get for the house? Because a lot of people don't have equity in the house right now because they bought it recently. If they didn't realize is that how much expenses have gone up in the last year or two.
Right. So Yeah, so to address like the short sale and foreclosure process, if you're not making your payments, then by all means, it's generally a better idea to sell your house, pull the equity out of it,
Right.
pay off your debts, and figure out another plan versus letting your house go completely
Right.
and going into the foreclosure process where they take your house back
Right.
and you don't have your equity.
Right.
You've lost it all. So there's always options, and it's just better to explore every angle.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to be negative, but it's not like insurance is going to go down next year. I don't think so. Your taxes are probably aren't going to go down next year. You know, so
Right.
and if you have an old roof, there's a good chance that insurance company's going to say, hey, if you want to stay with us, you're going to have to replace the roof.
Right. And that's going to be a problem with a lot of people. You know, there's options to work around that as well, potentially. But, you know, again, it's more about it's money. You know, maybe you can pull some of the equity out of the house, what little you have, maybe to do the roof or, you know, put it on a payment plan. But, you know, if you're struggling for money or you've had a job situation change or something along those lines, you know, you're going to have to explore some alternative options.
So basically what I'm thinking, if you could afford your mortgage and you're not stressing about it, you know, every 30 days or so, you know, that you got to make another payment, you know, maybe and you plan to stay there for 2 or 3 years, maybe it's a good idea. But if you're like just made your mortgage payment and you're already stressing for the next mortgage payment,
Right.
maybe it's time to sit down with somebody and come up with a game plan, just in case.
It's just conversations, you know, and think about it like this.
Yeah.
Your home is probably your biggest asset. For a majority of people, that's probably your largest asset that you have.
Right.
So understanding how much your asset is truly worth is important.
Yeah.
You know, and I know there's those automated things online and stuff.
Like Zillow and stuff, but those things are never accurate.
Right, and they're very inaccurate.
Yeah.
They can be manipulated, and they're just pulling from, you know, one specific data point, you know, a smaller data point to come up with that automated valuation. And it's a good ballpark, but at the end of the day, you know, they're either high or they're low, and you're never really getting a true vision of what your property is worth.
And it's not like you go by what your next door neighbor sold his house for 6 months, a year ago.
No, that's night and day difference.
Yeah, don't go by that. I mean,
my neighbor sold it, you know, 8 months ago or even a year and a half ago, and they got this much for it.
I'm sure you're hearing that a lot.
I hear it every day. Every single day.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, you know, it is what it is. So overall, what's your opinion? Should you sell before it's too late, or should you just roll the dice and hope things work out good?
Well, if you are in a pinch and you can't afford your house, then that's probably a very viable option, is putting it on the market and selling it, downsizing or addressing your situations, whatever the case is. But get real numbers, get what it's truly going to cost you to sell your house.
Yeah.
Let's look at the market in your specific area. That's important too.
Well, you pull comps.
Yeah, we're going to pull comps around, and we try to do, you know, an opinion on what the house could appraise for as close as it possibly can. You know, and doing that manually takes a little bit of time,
Right.
but it also produces a much more accurate valuation of your home.
Right. So, and my opinion is, if you make your mortgage payment and you're not thinking about your next mortgage payment, keep the house. That's the way I look at it. Nice and simple. If you made your mortgage payment and you're not worried about your next mortgage payment, then it's fine. You're not stressful. If you just made your mortgage payment and you struggle to make it, and now you're worried about the next one in 4 weeks, that's a telltale sign.
Right. If you're just into it to sell your house because you want to downsize, move, upsize, whatever the case may be for your specific situation, timing the market is never really a good idea. If you think about it, this is the house you currently live in. This isn't an investment property, right? So if I'm selling a house and the economy is down, I'm also buying a house when the economy is down.
Yeah.
If I'm selling the house when the economy's up, I'm going to buy a house when the economy's up.
Yeah.
It's not a second property where you're going investment wise.
Right.
You know, you're not buying a second house or a third house, etc.
Yeah. Just be comfortable. That's all I'm saying.
Live comfortably. Life is stressful enough.
Yeah, just live comfortably. Don't, and if you're renting now and you're gonna go buy a house, you know, you may want a $600,000 house, but like I said in previous videos, go to a $400,000 house. Get used to it first, especially if it's your first house.
Yeah, everybody thinks that their first house is their forever house, and for
it's
some
not.
people it may be. Who knows? I can't say never.
Why, what's the average time that people stay in their houses?
It used to be 7 years. Now it's pushing out to projected at 10.
Oh, really?
For their first house, just because of the way the interest rates went. But on average, first-time buyers are gone in 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, and places like Florida too, there's boomerang buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
So like me, I can name 6-7 people that moved here last year and are not here anymore.
Yeah, one of my clients did it. They moved in. It was about 1.5 years, and unfortunately they had a circumstance change and they had to move back to where they came from, and we listed the house again.
Actually, I did a video on top 10 reasons why people leave Florida. I'll post it below, or I'll put it towards the end of this video so you guys can watch it. But I got a bunch of information together and I put the top 10 reasons leaving Florida. But anyways, everybody, I know this was a short video, but do you have anything else to say?
No, just thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And if you've got questions, as always, please feel free to reach out. And until next time.
All right, guys, like always, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.